definitely saw a trailer for it, but now I can't picture it in my head. Just
Like
because, probably
he's
just
an
because I'm
everyday
picturing
working man.
every other Jason Statham trailer.
Like a
It's
friend's
called Working Man. That's the name of the movie.
yeah. His friend's like daughter gets like kidnapped, and like he has to like go beat the shit out of everyone in Jason Statham fashion. I'm
Oi,
sold.
I'm Jason Statham. You stolen me mate's girlfriend.
Oh
Or
wait,
me mate's daughter.
this is the movie where like he gets taken in by a family, right?
Yeah,
And like
and like
and the kid gets kidnapped or something, and that's what. Okay,
yes,
yeah.
yeah.
I definitely think I've seen the trailer.
I'm a sucker for like any of his movies. I still haven't seen Beekeeper, but I'm a sucker for Statham movies.
Mike's seen it twice.
Yeah, Mike's seen it enough for all of us. He's seen it 4 times.
Mike said he was going to pick it tonight for his next movie pick.
Is that your
I
pick,
mean,
Mike?
I might.
It is Mike's pick, so
Maybe.
maybe we'll find out that information at some point tonight. Welcome, everyone, to the Pass Control Podcast, a show where a couple of best friends talk about the latest video games and nerd culture. Sometimes we have guests. Sometimes we talk about Jason Statham too much. Either way, we have a new episode for you each and every week. As always, I'm your host, Brenden Groom, and joining me on this lovely Saturday evening, I feel like we haven't done a Saturday in a while, is the anime senpai himself. Some might call him Martini Mike. Mr. Michael Desir. Mike, how are you doing tonight?
Oi, I'm Jason Statham, and I'm a beekeeper. I
Okay.
keep bees.
Does he have a Boston accent? You had a little Boston come through there.
Well, to be
Oi.
fair, that movie takes place in Massachusetts.
Oh, okay, all right, you're on fucking point then. Does he do a Boston accent in it?
No, he just talks like himself.
We probably should at some point in the future. We should like power rank movies Boston accents representation. We should do that.
I don't think anybody in that film, despite the whole thing taking place in Massachusetts, had a Boston accent.
Next year we have to
I'll
do
look for the
only
best.
Boston-based movies.
I'll do it.
We can do that.
Also joining us tonight, of course, is the cyberpunk fucking sicko himself, Todd Garrett. Todd, how are you doing?
Yeah, game's old news. What are we talking about?
Oh, sorry. The hunting makes me feel good. Todd Gary, how you doing?
Good.
Okay. And rounding us out, of course, the Disney daddy himself, Dominic 40. Dom, how are you doing?
Here.
Love to hear it. We had a great show for you tonight. If you are not aware, it is a PTC Movie Club episode, so we're going to talk about The Boy and the Heron. So if you haven't watched that film, you don't want us to spoil it for you, there's a great chance for you to turn the TV off. Turn this off, come back to it at a later time, because we are going to talk about The Boy and the Heron, and that will ultimately spoil the film for you if you haven't seen it yet. But before we get into that, a couple of quick housekeeping things. This episode, of course, sponsored by our good friends at Goodnight Fatty. If you're in the Salem, Massachusetts area or the North Shore of Massachusetts on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday evening, you want yourself something hot, something sweet, something tasty, something fresh out of the oven, you can head on down to 1 Washington Square and get yourself a delicious fatty. And if you're unaware of what a fatty is, you can check them out on social media at Goodnight Fatty and at Good Morning Chubby and educate yourself on these tasty, tasty treats. Other quick housekeeping things. I think that's it. I'll just quickly tease that next week we will definitely be talking about a few different bigger titles. I finally finished Metaphor, and I won't talk about that now, but I will talk about Metaphor next week. Well, I'm sure we'll dive into Monster Hunter in a big way next week, and maybe some other bigger things that we've all been playing. So something to look forward to post-movie week. We'll probably talk about Pokemon Present a little bit next week too, maybe. Who's to say? But anyways.
There's no reason to, but
Okay, cool. Todd said no reason, so I guess we'll just skip it. Like I said, this is PTC Movie Club for The Boy and the Heron, so last chance to duck out if you haven't already done that. Mike, you are the PTC Movie Club for March. Do you have something off your list that you want to choose here?
Nothing I feel confident picking yet.
So you're going to make the fine folks out there in podcast land wait a week?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Or maybe Mike drops at the end of the episode. Who's to say? Anyways, we are going to just hop right into it as we always do. We will look at the Rotten Tomatoes score and popcorn meter for The Boy and the Heron. If you've looked at this, excuse yourself. But how are we feeling? What are we thinking, Mike, for the Boy and the Heron tomato meter and popcorn meter? These are not for points, but we always do this for fun.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's say 90 critic, 85 audience.
Okay, 90-85. Todd, what are you thinking?
I'm going to go 94-88.
Okay. Dom, take us home.
I'm gonna go 95-90.
95-90. Who is actually the closest?
I've already forgotten what I said.
We
You
got
said 100 versus 100.
we
Oh,
got
that's
two different people getting bullseyes. So Dom is a oh wait, not a bullseye. Dom is the closest for tomato meter with 95%. It's a 96% tomato meter, but Todd has a bullseye at 88 audience. So 96, 88, pretty high scores. Where is the Boy and the Heron? I closed this tab apparently. Let me put it back in. Box office. What do we got? According to our friends at Box Office Mojo. Of course it doesn't have the budget. Why don't you have the budget? Boy and the Heron budget. Where can we get an accurate budget? Let's see. Let's just go off Wikipedia if it lists it here. And it doesn't. Let's see. I don't know. It's on a Wikipedia list of most expensive animated feature films. Where is it?
Right?
Huh? Did you say
Is it
really?
really? Yeah.
I think that probably has to do with it coming out during COVID.
Oh, yeah.
I think it also has to probably do with the fact that I believe that his films are all still hand animated. So I would imagine that is
It would make it even harder during COVID.
yeah. You were going to say something, Mike? Am I incorrect there? Is that not true? Is it not hand animated anymore?
No, I was gonna say like yeah, he's out there in the cut, just drawing shit by hand.
Let's see. Traditional animation.
Is Ponyo from the same guy?
I mean, it's Ghibli. I think Miyazaki did Ponyo.
Ghibli, but I'm not sure if it's Miyazaki. But
Kids are dying to watch that movie. Dying.
Ponyo is 2008 Japanese animated fantasy film written and directed by Hayao Miyazaki. Sorry. So according to this Wikipedia list, it is a... Where did that just go? I just had it in front of me. 2023. Where did you go? 2023. Has about a $53 million budget, which puts it in this list for traditional animated films as the highest. What do you think number 2 is? I don't think nobody's gonna guess it.
I'll get that.
If you can give me like the
traditional animated.
That's what this says. Yes, if you can get like the franchise that it's from, I'll give it to you because no one's gonna guess this thing. 2005.
Franchise?
Yeah, it's part of a.
My guess was gonna be Princess and the Frog.
Nope, that's not even.
I'm pretty sure that was traditional animated.
I mean, whatever this list is.
It might have been
2005.
It might have been
2005, you said?
2005.
I was going to say Frozen, but 2005 is way too.
Also, not traditionally animated.
No,
Oh, it's not?
Famously
I don't know.
CGI.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Franchise.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of a larger series. So if you can just name the character that has movies, I'll give it to you.
Puss in Boots.
I don't think Todd knows
Oh,
what traditional animation is.
Oh, no, Puss in
Shrek.
Boots. Puss in Boots.
Oh, it's gotta be Toy
the
Story.
new one.
Okay.
The new one.
So no one has a guess? No one has
Oh,
a real
no.
guess?
Mitchell versus the Machines, probably.
Okay, so no one has a real guess. We're going to just move on from this.
Hold on.
I mean,
let me
I
just-
gave you a real guess.
I didn't hear you, sorry. Because Todd's just been saying
I
it.
did. No, you did. I said Princess and the Frog.
Oh,
that
sorry,
was my
yeah.
real guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, I know. Robots.
Not Peanuts.
Ooh.
I don't know if they would have had a traditionally animated film.
Oh, huh.
The
I don't know what the
Corpse
fuck.
Bride.
I don't know what is up with this list then, because I think. Oh, okay.
Oh, I know. Wallace and Gromit.
I'm
That's
so
traditional, right?
confused why it put The Boy and the Heron at the top, because that's actually incorrect. It's not at the top. The top is still not what anyone said, but you were not far off, Dom. You were at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, with the Princess and the Frog being 100 million. Todd's not saying real things. Do you have a guess, Mike?
If I'm correct, that was the last traditionally animated for
Disney.
Disney.
Maybe, I don't know.
Lilo and Stitch too.
Todd, shut the fuck up.
At least that one. At least that one was getting
animated.
close.
Impossible, the movie.
It wasn't. It wasn't hand animated.
Am I still trying to guess a franchise?
No,
or is
no,
is
now
the
it's
thing
different.
because
This is a one-off. This is a onesie dunsy. Sorry.
a onesie dunsey.
Are you sure it's not robots?
What was the fuck? Why can't I?
What was the-
2002 onesie
Drink-
onesie dunsey.
What was the franchise one?
Winnie the Pooh. But it was like a
Ah,
random
yes.
ass fucking Winnie the Pooh movie. It was called like
It was
the Heffalump.
Oh,
fucking
I know.
something.
Spirit. No, Treasure Planet.
What year is the?
Todd pulled up a list. It is Treasure Planet.
Oh.
Wait, really?
What do you mean? Wait, really, Todd? You just named 17 things. You were bound to
Yeah,
name the
that's what I was
thing.
saying.
You're just naming fucking movies with 140 million. Treasure Planet. It's gonna be a
Never
great
seen it.
episode. Anyways, with a $53-ish million budget, what do we think did worldwide?
Worldwide.
What year was the release?
2023.
Let's say 200.
Okay, Mike's gonna lock in a 200 even. Sapphire Jade in the chat says, "Excuse me, the Heffalump movie is not random." Is that like a well-known movie?
I mean, it's in the Winnie the Pooh franchise.
All right, okay.
I don't know. It would be like saying Shrek Ever After is like a random ass Shrek movie.
Well, honestly, I don't even associate Winnie the Pooh with like theatrical movies. I associate Winnie the Pooh with like cartoon and other shit, books
Honey.
and
Pantsless.
honey. Yeah, and pantsless. Really, we should be saying Winnie the Poohing it more than we say Donald Ducking it. That's the reality.
It depends on my mood what I say.
If I'm wearing a hat,
Oh, if you're wearing your hat, you're definitely Donald Ducking it.
Does Donald always have a hat on?
yes.
Yeah, with that little like thing
He
that comes
wears a
down.
sailor's hat.
Yeah, I had that thing with the beak.
Wait,
I'm the
Todd
movie
had
guy.
a
Are we just
hat or
Sorry,
not?
you're
blowing,
right, I should
blowing
know.
Brennan's mind right now?
I'm trying to picture Donald without a hat now. Now I just someone else say their budget so we can move on and end this episode. Donald Duck.
I'll say 320.
Oh yeah, Donald Duck always has a fucking hat on.
He wears
Always.
a sailor's hat.
You know what? I don't really fuck with regular Donald all that much. Like Donald to me is like way
I don't-
more in like themed things, like Halloween
He's always
special,
been my favorite.
like
Donald's
other
always been
shit.
my favorite.
Kingdom Hearts. Granted, he's always has things on his head in those things.
There
but
are only two people that can cast
Zeta Flare? Yeah, Zeta Flare, I think.
Zeta Flare, is that what it is?
Yeah.
honestly,
Donald Duck and some other dude.
I'm like embarrassed. I should know that Donald Duck always has a hat on. This is like kind of wild.
He wears a sailor's hat.
Anyways, Mike said 200 million. What do we got?
I think, Todd,
Todd,
what did you say,
give him
300?
I said 320.
320.
I'm just going to say 100. So we were at 300.
Sure. Well, that puts I mean, he went over, but he's still the closest. Todd is the closest with 282 mil worldwide,
I
which
feel like that was all like
I
overseas.
think for yeah, I mean, I think for still in that window of movies struggling in general, I think post 2020, right? 2023.
I suppose.
Plus, like a big
Yeah,
animated feature.
We were back at theaters, but I don't know if like we were fully.
I think this is probably considered a monetary success. I mean, it's definitely a critical success, and we'll get to that. But I think this is still based on the budget in it being
I'm
animated.
not
I think it's
sure what Ghibli movies generally look for or generally take in.
Well-
I would imagine that this is one of the higher of them. Anyways.
well, I do have pulled up the Studio Ghibli. These are estimated lifetime gross for
yeah, but life
theatrical releases. What is this? I mean, this can't be accurate because I mean, if this is accurate,
we are bad
if this
at
if this is
research.
accurate, The Boy and the Heron should be on the top. I don't know how this is actually done here. Well, regardless, it has the Secret World of Arrietty at number 1 with 19 million, which again would be incorrect because The Boy and the Heron is 282 million.
I have to imagine at this
That's
point.
domestic.
Yeah, is that domestic number?
Oh,
That
maybe
would
it
make
is. Oh,
sense.
maybe it is just domestic. That would actually.
I was gonna say I have to
The,
imagine at this point Totoro's probably been in theaters like a dozen times and probably is higher up there. Like lifetime gross.
Yeah.
No, it's actually not. It's only 41 million.
Let's just go.
The
I'm
thing
just
is, I
gonna
have
go
to
to
discount
Totoro.
everything Todd says because, like, I don't know what he's doing.
I'm actually being serious.
For what?
From my neighbor Totoro.
I mean,
That's
even
41
Totoro.
million is probably the original box office.
No, I mean, Box Office Mojo listed at 30 million. For
Is it
Totoro.
domestic?
No, that's everything worldwide. Domestic is 2 million. I mean, you have to also take into account that, like, this movie originally came out in 1988. Is that right? It's that old.
Yeah.
It's an old
Makes
film.
sense.
And then it looks like
That's why I said it's probably been in theaters.
it looks
dozen
like
times.
it probably started hitting theaters maybe outside of Japan at least as early as 2002.
The film's lifetime revenue is estimated to be about $1.46 billion.
Yeah, so I don't know what the fuck Box Office Mojo is pulling here for numbers, but anyways, we're not doing a whole Ghibli episode.
Original box office was 41 million. And that's what Todd said, so.
Yeah, and I don't know if those that list that was pulling all of the Ghibli films was in like adjusting for inflation, because usually it says that, and I didn't see it say that. So, anyways, that wasn't supposed to be part of regular tonight, but I got curious when we pulled it up. I also just opened that page to see what it's there. I did have this up though because I was also curious because, and we'll get into our thoughts on the movie in just a minute, but when I pulled up The Boy and the Heron's Rotten Tomato score, I think I was surprised. Not based off my own opinion. I just think that it was like, oh, okay. I'm actually surprised that both are high,
Both numbers
because
are high.
I feel like I have
Miyazaki has that Nintendo armor. Like, you know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
okay,
Like, people love
yeah,
him. People
totally.
love him, though. They don't.
But I feel like a lot of people that I know didn't like the movie. And that's kind of where I was like, oh, interesting. I'm curious that it was both that high. So, according to Rotten Tomatoes list here of all Studio Ghibli movies ranked by Tomato Meter, the bottom of the list is Earwig and the Witch at 24. And then if we go to the top of the list,
I'm so confused by the box office numbers that you were pulling.
it's just what Box Office Mojo did. I typed in Studio
Spirited
Ghibli.
Away. Spirited Away made
Should've-
380.
Yeah, that's
something.
that's why I was surprised by what was going on in that list. Let me try it again. Let me see if there's maybe it just like was pulling something
You're just
weird.
using it wrong.
Yeah, when I type in Studio Ghibli movies on Box Office Mojo, it's that list, and it has lifetime gross 19 million for The Secret World of Arrietty, and I have it.
Spirited Away is Ghibli, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But even Ghibli here, I'm sorry, even Spirited Away here, I have. Oh yeah, weird. Yeah, it's at 70 million when you click on it. But in that other list,
and I think that's
do it.
probably a domestic, because I just looked at it and it was 280 something, 358 worldwide.
Yeah, so
Domestic 15.
I don't know. Oh wait, yeah. So that is pulling just. Let's do worldwide. Can I just do Ghibli fucking worldwide? Why is it doing this weird? Okay, I typed in Ghibli worldwide and it's giving me Geely, so we're gonna just stop pulling that list up.
Makes sense.
Number 1 is The Tales of Princess Kaguya. I've never seen that with 100%. Number 2 is Only Yesterday with 100%. I have also not seen that. Number 3 is Kiki's Delivery Service with 98%. I have seen. Number 4 is a movie I picked for a movie club at some point. Grave of the Fireflies, 100%. So I don't even understand how that
Wait,
is.
that was Miyazaki too.
These are Ghibli movies in
Oh,
general.
Ghibli's. Gotcha.
So number one is not directed by him. I don't think it's written by him. Number two is not directed by him, so I would imagine not written by him either. Number three, Kiki's, is directed by him, so I would imagine he also wrote it. Grave of the Fireflies, not him. Number 5 is Spirited Away, which is him. That's at 96. And then number 6 is The Boy and the Heron, also at 96%. So I hope you enjoyed that little segment of a bunch of completely false information and some real information. And
Some of it might be real.
I don't know. There you go.
Yeah.
The sources
We
are
don't have
Box
fact
Office
checks on
Mojo
board.
and Rotten Tomatoes. So if you want to take it up with the council, you can go to those websites and do your own little noodling around, because that's what I just did. Anyways, so overall, how are we feeling about this movie? You was your second time watching it, Mike, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any change of opinion?
Nah, not really.
Where you land on it overall?
I mean, it was all right. It was slow. A lot of birds. Real
A lot
bird
of
heavy.
birds. A lot of birds.
Very bird heavy.
It once again strikes me as a movie that I feel as though I'm missing some very important cultural context to everything that's going on.
Yes.
So I'm just like, I don't know why any of these things are happening.
So I will say up front that you definitely benefit from certain use of symbols and themes by knowing some general information about it. The heron being one. Actually, the use of probably all 3 of the birds is important, because it's herons, pelicans, and parakeets. It is.
Yep.
I would recommend, if you're listening to this and you watch the movie and some of that stuff maybe didn't make sense to you or went over your head, I would just look up what those birds mean. I think in general, like in worldwide society, but also specifically the heron has some like specific Japanese cultural like themes and meaning. So other than those things, Mike, that's where you're at. Just a lot of birds.
That's going on, man. A lot of birds.
Did
Depending
you
on what was
like the
going
film
on.
overall or no?
I didn't hate it, but if you didn't make this your pick, I probably wasn't going to watch it again.
Okay, that's fair. Todd, big fan of animated films. How do you feel about The Boy and the Heron overall?
It was all right. I liked the beginning more than I liked the end. I felt like it was a little long-winded in like the middle.
Did you?
Um,
I'm curious. Before you say more, did you watch it with your kids or no?
Yeah.
Did they enjoy it?
They watched it and sat through the whole thing, but I don't think they were super into it.
Okay.
I think Liam was like surprising me though, because he was like, there's like the scene when like, I think he's dreaming of his mom in the fire and everything, and Liam's like, oh, that didn't really happen, but he's like thinking about. I was like, oh wow, I'm surprised you even picked that up. Like he was like kind of analyzing the movie, and I was like, oh, interesting, okay.
It's
I'm like,
crazy
you
he
actually
knew
took-
so much about why herons were used in the movie and Mike didn't. That's
Yeah.
like wild to me.
No, but he was. I was actually surprised that he knew. You know, he's kind of understood some stuff. But yeah, they didn't hate it. They want to watch Ponyo, I think, because they watched the trailer for that after, and they're like, we want to watch that. You know, but I thought it was fine. I do think it was too long, and I can't believe I'm saying that. I sound like Brenden right now, but like,
It was a long movie.
Um,
It was a long movie.
yeah, I mean, I don't know what they would need to cut, but like, I just feel like, you know, I don't know.
It's tough. I don't really know what you could cut and make it not be coherent. I feel like it needed to be its length, because I feel like there's already a lot going on. So I don't know. You'd have to cut, I think, the beginning parts and not stuff later in the movie. How did you feel about it overall? You liked it, didn't like it, just thought it was too long?
I'm in the middle. I like don't think I'd ever watch it again, probably, but I didn't hate it.
Okay. What about you, Dom? How you feeling about The Boy and the Heron overall?
It was fine.
Okay.
The title is terrible. I understand that it's a mistranslation, and like the original title is different, but
Oh, I don't know. What is the original title name?
Heron and the boy.
That would make more sense.
World. The way you live.
Oh, how do you live?
How do you live?
Okay.
The Heron is like, I don't know.
The Heron
Not-
is there.
He shows up. He's not even like, I don't know. I suppose he's a heron.
Yeah, right.
He's not really a heron for most of the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, it probably could have maybe been a better name. But the Heron is integral to the story that's being told. Especially if you like, post movie, I read more about, because I'm not gonna lie, or I'll let you finish and then I'll say my shit.
If you had to go through articles of explaining why the Heron was important to the movie,
No, not what I did. I specifically looked up what does the Heron mean in Japanese culture? Like, what is the cultural significance of that? Which still, I think, lends to what you're saying.
which you
Isn't
still have to do
Japanese
research on. Like, I don't know, and it's just like a nitpick with the title. Like, I don't know. The movie was fine.
Yeah.
I was the end having like a time travel element was not something I was banking on going into this movie.
Right.
Well,
I mean, it wasn't necessarily time travel. I think it just kind of existed outside of time.
yeah, yes.
right?
I'm pretty sure everything in the
Well-
tower exists
well, they
outside
mentioned-
of time.
They mentioned that she went to the tower as a child and came
Yeah.
back the same
Yeah.
age.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is like essentially when Mahito goes in and when his mother go in, like in
The
our
tower
timeline-
exists. Yeah, the tower exists
Yeah,
outside
yeah.
of time. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
still time traveling.
Nice. If you want to be semantic about it, I suppose.
If he had gone into the mother's door, he would have time traveled.
Yes, but he didn't do that.
But he was existing he was in the TARDIS of this story.
Don't you bring your Doctor Who nonsense into
That
this?
should make you like understand it better if you have that knowledge. Maybe not. I don't know how Doctor Who works.
There's not an army of parakeets in Doctor Who.
I love the
Which is
Army of
With
surprising.
Parakeets.
Batista being the king.
I fucking love the Army of Parakeets, and we can get to them at some point. But so when I finished the movie, I think initially my thoughts were, it was okay. I like Ghibli movies. I like Miyazaki films. I think I was hoping for more in that moment when it finished. And the more I sat on it, and then I did read some stuff about birds and some other themes, the more I started kind of like letting it jump around in my brain a little bit and ponder on stuff. I do think that this is going to be a film that over time I appreciate more. I already did kind of skim through it a few different times, looking at certain scenes again to try to understand things that maybe I missed in a first viewing. I think it is a movie that would probably benefit from a rewatch, or again, like a deeper dive into certain things that maybe don't make sense if you don't have the cultural or not that they don't make sense, but they don't mean the same thing because you don't have that perspective, which again I can also see as a potential negative of being like, if you need to have that knowledge up front, maybe that speaks to the weakness of the overall piece of art. But the more that I think about this movie, and I think with the,
Or just the art wasn't created for you.
which is also fine. But the more that I think about the movie, I think that it's a movie that is like on its nose, exploring themes of death and dealing with that. It's obviously also post-war. So dealing with those things, dealing with your life changing in dramatic ways that you don't have control over. Himiko? No, not what is the main character's name with an M?
Mahito.
Mahito doesn't have control over his life. His mother dies because of the war. He then moves to the countryside with his, which maybe if they said it at the beginning of the movie, it was like I missed it, and it was revealed to me later in the movie when you find out that that's his mom's sister.
I think they say it.
They
say
say
it early in the film. He said they were in the film.
Okay, I must have missed that because later when it got referenced, I was like, wait, did I miss that was a thing? Like, did I not understand that?
It was a weird move for that dad. But go on.
I read that
it's some sort of like
it's custom or like
custom,
traditional.
yeah.
Or, okay.
Yeah.
I read that this is like a autobiography of like Miyazaki's like childhood, basically. What I read.
It is. It
like
does
all that stuff with like the sister happened and everything.
Yeah, it is stuff that is pulled from his life. He did lose his mother, I think, at a young age. I mean, he's in his 80s, so he lived through.
His dad married the sister just because like
early post-war stuff. So I mean, I that stuff I do think he's pulling a lot from his personal life experience.
I read that they married the sister because like to keep the money within the family and like someone that they can trust or something like that. That was like how it was back then. If like someone like a family member died and
yeah, and I do think I think his father did work on like parts for playing. Like I think all that stuff is like true to his life, like pulling from that stuff, that his father had that similar job, worked in a factory or ran a factory that produced planes for war or whatever. As I think that's also maybe part of why he wrote The Wind Rises. The Wind Rises is the...
I feel like I remember that being a thing as well. Yeah.
But it's like, I think I came away from the movie initially, I don't want to say let down. I was just like hoping for more, I think initially. But then when I've been thinking about it more and just like the ideas of dealing with grief, dealing with death, dealing with change, dealing with things you can't change. And then he literally, I mean, we're just jumping all over the place now. At the end of the film, he is given a chance to stay in this fantasy world and construct it how he wants to. Here's the blocks. You can build what you want to build. And he still chooses to go back to his reality where it's like nothing's perfect. Pain is a real thing. I understand now more that I have to learn to grow from pain, learn that things are out of my control sometimes, but also that I can choose to forge a path through those things in my own ways. That's like the stuff I was starting to kind of pull from it a little bit more afterwards.
To be fair, in the fantasy world, pain is also real. He was kidnapped and tied to a thing and was about to be eaten.
Well, I think I think the fantasy aspect of the movie, there's like so much to really fucking dive into and dissect because all we know about, I forget what they call his uncle, the Grand Master, the Tower Master. What did they call him?
Something like that.
All we know about him is that he was like very educated guy or whatever they described him as, very educated, well-read person that one day just disappears, and he exists in this world that he seemingly built, and it's a fucking disaster. So why he left, we don't really know. I tried to think about those reasons, what those reasons could be. Maybe it was, hey, the world sucks. The world is literally at war. People are dying, all this stuff. And to like close themselves off and become sheltered and put up, a barrier between you and the real world. And even then, where you think you can escape those realities, the reality still seeps in of like, that whole fantastical world is fucked up. Like you have the pelicans that are eating the warawara, which are like the unborn babies, or however they describe them. And when Willem Dafoe's fucking pelican shows up, he's like, we're not supposed to be here. We're only doing this to survive. We don't want to do this, but like, it's like a cycle of destruction that they don't want to be a part of, but they're being forced to be a part of it. The parakeets, I'm still trying to figure out. I do love the parakeets though, for a lot of like visual, like how they act and stuff. They're like very enjoyable. And Batista's fantastic. The king parakeet is great. But yeah, I mean, there's still like, even with him theoretically creating this, idealistic world, it's still all fucked up. I think there's a lot of stuff to.
I mean, to be fair, you should probably have more animals in the fantasy world than just birds. It's probably.
Well, he has those like mammoth fish, whatever the fuck that thing was they caught.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But there's no fish for the parakeets to eat. That's what, for the pelicans to eat. That's what Willem Dafoe says. Like, we have to eat these because there's nothing else for us to eat. The only place in that world that seemingly is like a lush, vibrant thing is where he actually resides, at the top of the tower, where it's like, when the parakeets show up there, they're like, "Oh my god, are we in heaven? Is this real? Like, this exists." I don't know. There's a fucking lot going on in this movie. The animation style, just to like go to the beginning of the movie, the animation style when it switches between him and whenever it's like, it's really only at the beginning of the movie where it's like the movie as it is, and then whenever he is in that war scenario, whether it's when the hospital in that beginning is actually being bombed, or whenever he goes back mentally to that moment, the animation gets like way blurrier and messier. And I don't know, it's like very stunning. Like, it's, the fire effects are fantastic. Like, all of that is like when he's running through the crowds, and like, it's like everything has like drawn things, but all of the coloring exists outside of the lines. Like, it's all blurry. It's so fucking gorgeous. Anyways, that's what I got. Overall, I like the movie. I like the movie. It continues to kind of dig into my brain, and I think over time I'm going to like this movie even more than I do right now.
Robert Pattinson was so good.
I pulled up the voice cast like halfway through the movie. I don't hear him in that voice. I'm so confused by him as the Heron.
Nah, man, he's a fucking pretty talented actor, and like, he got so much hate.
Oh, I'm not saying he's not. I just like
no, I know.
He like did a performance that I was like, wow. Like, Christian Bale, I feel like you can hear. Mark Hamill, you can hear. Batista, you can hear.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Even Florence Pugh, like, you can hear her voice there. Like, you can hear,
Who is Christian Bale actually? Because I don't even think I was paying attention to
His dad.
Oh, okay. He's not in it a lot.
He's not.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Batista's not really in it for very long.
No,
either.
but it's so distinct, his voice. It's like, it's
I'll quickly bring up, this movie did win an Oscar. It was best animated feature. Yeah.
What was it up against?
I'm trying to pull it up right now.
Not a stacked list. Elemental.
I didn't like Elemental that much. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it.
Elemental.
I'm scrolling to find it right now. Best animated feature film.
I just had it.
I mean, I would disagree with you. I think there's
into the
across the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah, that should have easily been.
Yeah, Boy and the Heron, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Elemental, Nimona, which people also love that movie.
Nimona's great. It's really good. Yeah.
And Robot Dreams. I'm not familiar with that. But I'm curious. So I was doing a lot of reading after the movie, and when they won the Oscar for this, Miyazaki was not at the Oscars. When he won the Oscar like 20-ish years prior for Spirited Away, he was also not at the Oscars. The reason he didn't go to the Oscars then was because he was opposed to the war in Iraq. And like, that's why he didn't go. He was like, I'm not going to the U.S. So okay. I'm curious if there's but he didn't say that then. They wouldn't let him say that then. But he has said it since. Like, that's why I didn't go, because no. For a bunch of reasons, you can understand why, but like, I think mainly he grew up in post-war Japan. I would imagine he's probably very anti
U.S. military.
Well, yeah, but also probably just anti-war in general. And Anyways, so yeah, best animated feature film,
Anti Godzilla.
Yeah.
maybe.
Godzilla being
The U.S.
allegory for
Yeah,
the U.S.
yeah.
military.
Yeah, I don't know if the voice cast was great, animation was fantastic, all that stuff was good. I think that the movie has a lot going on, but I really like it. The more it's like so. I pulled up what the gray heron means. Essentially, there's like a great National Geographic article about Japanese folklore and the boy and the heron, but you have to fucking pay to read it, so I can't read that. But I keep finding other articles that like cite it or reference it, so I'm like getting pieces of it that way. But where did I have this tab open that talked about what herons?
One of the things I read said that they consider them like the bird of transportation, since they fly, swim, and walk on land. Like they're one of the few animals that
Yes. Yeah, so they are like
the creature that brings them like back and forth through the tower.
Exactly. So that I think that's part of it, is that they're a harbinger of like traveling between planes, which I think is part of that there. This thing article that I have up also says that, in other cultures in ancient Egypt, the heron is associated with creation and rebirth, and is also
Cycle of life or whatever I was reading.
Yeah, yes. So it's like, I think this movie does have that theme pretty heavy on its like tongue the whole movie. Movie starts off, mother's dead. Movie progresses, you have a sibling on the way. Go to the fantasy world, the Wara Wara are literally unborn beings.
Are they unborn or reborn? I was under the impression that they were like
like rebirth.
Rebirth. Like,
maybe, yeah. But even then, it's like, so it's just still the cycle of like there's a constant cycle of these things, and I think that's like obviously just a heavy theme throughout the whole thing, and some of these things just continue to play into each other there. You have I still like, I'm trying to dissect in a deeper way why he smashes the rock on his head.
Oh,
like I know he references at the end, saying like this is a sign of his malice.
I forget. I feel like
I feel like he couldn't feel pain because like of his mom's death, so he wanted to like.
Yeah.
I took it like it's something.
he
like
got
that,
into a fight prior to that. Though,
Yes,
right?
he fights with the kids.
It didn't get hurt though.
I think like I forgot about this time. I think I was like half paying attention.
It's like about attention.
The first time I watched the movie, I was under the impression that he just wanted to make it look like he was more injured. Because I feel like he got away from that fight not completely untouched, but like he wanted to make it look worse so that he could say like, "Oh, I fell," or whatever.
Yeah, for like attention or something. Yeah.
But that's pretty possible. I mean, it also serves as a plot point to get him out of school so he can do whatever the fuck he's doing. But at the end of the film, someone mentions his scar, and he says, "This is he's like, this is my malice." Or actually, no, someone doesn't ask him about the scar.
He was asked to make the stack
stones.
the stones, and it's like, you have to do it. I don't know, something about good. And he's like, "Oh, but I scarred myself. This is my malice. I cannot stack the rocks."
Well,
so
he calls the rocks tombstones. He calls the rocks tombstones, and he says like they're filled with or they're outlined in malice, and I don't want anything to do with that. This is my malice, or whatever. Because there's probably something to be said there too, where the fucking Parakeet King like then hastily stacks them all up and then fucking smashes them with his sword.
Well, he stacks them all up, and then they
immediately start to
collapse,
fall. Yeah.
So he slices it, and then I guess the universe collapses, which happens.
Yeah. So those stones, there was another thing that I read that said that like there's like images of a heron that has a white stone in its mouth, and that's supposed to signify something. And some people are like, oh, maybe that's what the stone use here is. We didn't really talk about the parakeets, and I want to talk about the parakeets for a second because they're so ridiculously comical at points where they're like, the way they're like walking and like marching with like knives behind their backs when they're gonna go eat them. It like screamed. There were certain points where it was like, this feels like fucking Looney Tunes. Like it's like shadows and like big ass knives, and it just felt like super comical, like very cartoony, which is not, I think, normal stylistically for Ghibli films. Like it felt very like outside of their normal style, if that makes sense. And it just like, I don't know, it was funny to me. Like it was making me laugh.
Yeah.
I did like the transition from like the couple times the parakeets were like pushing their way out of the tower
And turning
and they
into
like
regular
transformed
birds.
from like parakeet like humanoids to like
Yeah.
regular parakeets.
Yeah.
That was like a cool.
Yeah. The
I bought this movie.
animation was fantastic. And hold that thought, Todd. But like the first time that happens, when they like go out of that door and all the parakeets come out, and his dad runs towards him with the sword, and he's just covered in fucking shit.
People are covered in shit like multiple times.
At the end of the movie,
like,
the whole time there.
In the beginning, it's like every time there's always someone covered in shit at some point in this movie.
I like how
the
the dad
sister,
ran
the
up.
sister at the end, they all like came out and she was covered in shit. And she's
Yes.
like, it's so
Yeah.
beautiful, and I was like, you are covered in shit right now.
Covered in bird. I did like
That's
how
a
the
good
dad
omen, though. It's a
ran
good
up.
omen to get pooped on.
He ran up, he saw the birds, and immediately he was strapped. He had a sword on him. He's like,
Right.
no.
No,
And
he
started
brought.
slapping.
They show him take it from the house.
But my point is, he showed up. He was like there with a sword already, ready to go.
Yeah, he's ready to rock. He's ready to fuck shit up.
He was like killing all the parakeets, and then
He's like, my boy turns to my parakeet.
Yeah, like you're slicing up the parakeets, but then you have the realization that like your child is a parakeet. Like,
yeah, he's fucking out of it. He's so confused. You were saying, Todd, you bought the movie?
Yeah, I just bought it because I figured in case the kids wanted to watch it again. But I mean, it was only like $14.
That's not bad.
I bought Dog Man last night. They're obsessed with that shit.
mine is too.
Yeah, really. Yeah, they're watching it again right now for like the second time.
Who makes that movie?
I don't know. It's the same as Wild Robot. DreamWorks.
Do you want to know who the director is?
Who?
The director of The Country Bears.
Wait, really?
It's so random.
That's so funny.
He's the same guy that did. He's the same guy that did Captain Underpants. Apparently, it's like in universe. Captain Underpants.
Yeah, I think they're all connected in some weird way.
Did you hear the Young Gravy song?
No.
In the movie?
Yeah, we were like
No. I fell asleep
driving, and
during
she
it
like
last night.
kept asking to like listen to that song. She like would sing it, and I was
They're
like,
obsessed
wow.
with
I can't believe we're listening to Young Gravy in the car.
Wait, did you watch the movie, Don?
I watched like most.
They're
of
obsessed with Little Petey, like the little cat. Like that's like who the kids are obsessed. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's something that I think is going to continue to knock around in my brain. Like I think there's a lot of meaning to find out of this movie if you want to look for it.
I don't.
And that's fine.
Would I like other Miyazaki movies? Like if I like?
I mean,
Well,
I'll say this: is this
You didn't like Grave of the Fireflies, and I don't think you liked The Wind Rises.
Well, Grave of the
I
Fireflies.
I didn't see The Wind Rises.
I will say Grave of the. Yeah, I think that was. We were like still kind of bouncing around a little bit at that point.
Okay.
That was early PTC Movie Club. I think that was actually one of the few times we did a guest pick. I think that was Cam's pick. I don't think that was like a regular movie club episode.
Yeah.
But I will say this, Todd: if this is your first Miyazaki film, probably not a great representation, I guess, of just like Ghibli / Miyazaki films, like in their entirety.
What should I watch for? What would the next one you'd recommend? Spirited Away.
Well, what I'll say is this: this is a movie that is like, I think, again, in possession of a lot of depth and like meaning to find if you want to look for it. If that's not the type of movie you want, then maybe you want something that's a little bit more character driven, or like I don't know. Spirited Away, I have mixed feelings about. I don't know how Mike feels about it. I don't know if Dom's ever seen it.
I don't know if I have.
What about Totoro?
What I'll say about like things like Totoro and Spirited Away, I'm sorry, Kiki's Delivery Service and stuff like that is, I think that there's still like the deeper meaning and messages to find there and themes, but I think those movies are also a little bit more like, you know, I don't want to say mascot driven because I don't think that is fair to Totoro, but like it kind of is. I mean, am I wrong in saying that, Mike?
Saying what now?
That like something like Totoro is a little bit more like mascot driven than it is like it has themes and meaning, and it does. A lot of these movies actually deal with death and like those themes because Totoro does as well.
I think Totoro's probably
like I would say Totoro is not a movie that I would think Todd would like, but if he didn't like this and he didn't like Grave of the Fireflies, which seemed like a layup for Todd to like, then I don't know. Maybe Spirited Away is what you should watch.
Yeah, Ponyo.
I like Ponyo.
I mean, Ponyo's fun too.
Yeah,
I heard that's just like Little Mermaid ripoff though.
It has similarities. Yeah.
Ponyo's Little Mermaid. Arrietty was just the borrowers. That's all I got off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think actually I don't know where they must all be on HBO Max now because a bunch of them used to be on Netflix, but I think HBO Max has like a Ghibli section. They must have a lot of stuff.
I know they did. I think they probably still do because I feel like when I was watching Boy and the Heron after it finished, it said, "Hey, do you want to watch probably Ponyo or whatever?"
I'll look right now. I'm pretty sure they have a section that is like titled Ghibli. Yeah, you can watch a lot of their movies on here. You got Howl's Moving Castle, Kiki, Spirited Away, Totoro, Ponyo, Princess Mononoke. I mean, Mononoke, I think a lot of people put as the best one. So, you know, that. I personally love Nausicaa and the Valley of the Wind. That might still be my favorite. Wow, they must have. I don't know if they have all of them, but they have a lot of Ghibli movies on Max. So, yeah, I mean, pick one from there. My suggestion to you would be either
Totoro.
Yeah, I mean, you give Totoro a shot. I like Totoro, but like I don't think Totoro is like everyone's cup of tea.
That's the one with Snorlax, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Spirited Away. I mean, I like Kiki's. I don't think you'll like Kiki's.
Why? What do you say?
I just don't think that it's a movie you'd care about. Your kids would probably like it. I just don't know if you would want to watch that movie.
So what you're telling me is
do you think
that
he
he
would like
doesn't really make
Howls or
good
Castle
movies.
in the Sky, Mike? Do you think he would like either of those?
I don't think I actually watched Castle in the Sky. Howl's was fine.
That's another one
You
that
guys
people
don't seem
put
to
pretty
like
high
any
on
of
the
these
list.
movies.
I do. I love Ghibli movies. I would say maybe Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, or Totoro would be like a try one of those out and see. Those are all, I think, good representations of Ghibli films that are all different from each other. And if you like them, then I think Nausicaa and the Valley in the Wind is a banger. And I think you might like that movie, but again, I think it's 2 hours long, and it's like, I don't want to be the reason you watch it. Yeah, it's 2 hours long. I love that movie. That movie's fucking good. If it was shorter, I'd probably pick that at some point as a pick, because I don't think you've never seen it, right, Mike?
I don't think so.
Nausicaa is
No.
real good.
I think I have it sitting around on DVD somewhere.
But yeah, I don't know. Anything else we want to talk about with Boy and the Heron?
Nah, I got nothing. Although I will say, I think the first time I watched the movie, I must have missed the entire section. It's a very short section where Mahito figures out that what was it, Kiriko? Like the young Kiriko was the same as old Kiriko. I missed that the first time. Now that I'm seeing it again, I'm like, oh, okay. They bring it up. I don't know how he came to that conclusion. I don't know how this works, but all right.
When who figures it out?
Mahito figures out the Florence Pugh's character is the
younger version.
the
Yeah,
old-
okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to. Maybe I missed that too. When does he have that realization?
When he
Oh,
wakes
when
up
she's-
underneath the table.
And she says, "How do you know my name? I never said my name."
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, that whole, again, the whole section in that fantasy world is like where the real movie starts for me. Like that's like where it's like, okay, this is the, quote unquote hero's journey. This is his path to where he was before, which was unable to accept the things he couldn't change. His dead mom, his new place where he lives, new school,
His
sibling,
aunt mom.
huh?
His aunt mom.
His aunt mom, and the journey of understanding that he has to learn to live and cope with those things to the point where it turns into like, no, I can accept this new person as my mother. I can't accept that there are things I have to deal with. Like it's almost like the scar on his head is representative of the whole journey of like there are things that are going to be with me forever. And I can either choose to find empowerment through them or let them take me down. I don't know. Man, the movie's pretty good. I like the movie the more. It has a lot wrapped in, and I think it benefits from not having a lot of clear description of what it is trying to tell you, because I think it benefits from just thinking about it. I think it's just a movie that Miyazaki wants you to think about, and some people are gonna think about it, and some people are gonna move on, and I think both are fine. I think it seems to me like he is comfortable with like, there's a movie that I want you to think about. If you don't think about it, I don't like whatever. The people that want to think about it will think about it, and I'm in that boat right now of enjoying thinking about what the movie was trying to do. That's where I'm at. I'll pat myself on the back. It's a good pick.
It was fun.
What did we watch last month? What are we at so far? Wild Robot Boy and the Heron. We got a good year so far, Mike. You got a pick hanging in that back pocket?
Nope.
He's got to pick. Mitchell and the Machines. He's going to do a 3-movie, a triple feature.
It sounds like we're on track if we want to just do a whole year of animated films. I mean, I don't hate it.
I hate it.
We should do a whole year of traditional hand-drawn films.
I'd like that
Like
even
you
better.
You should pick like Shrek or something like.
I was going to say I'll do Shrek.
Yeah.
I'll do
Oh, no,
Frozen.
Puss in Boots.
Yeah.
Last Wish.
Yeah, Mike's picks actually all year are the 4 Ds of DreamWorks.
I kind of want to make you guys watch Puss in Boots. Not even like the first one, just like the most recent one.
I
The
mean,
last
Dom's
one.
definitely
People-
seen it,
People love that fucking
right?
movie.
I feel like Dom's seen
But
it.
Last Wish, I have not seen Last Wish.
Oh.
Top tier. It's like
You know, I'm going to make you watch Paddington 2.
Last
Is
Wish
Dream-
was
is-
a best animated feature nominee.
is DreamWorks like DreamWorks is kind of
No.
crushing it, like as of like the last few years. They're like cranking out like top tier animated movies.
I
I think we've had this
sure.
discussion before.
What's that?
I said sure. They also have some stinkers.
But I feel like they're leaning probably more towards the positive than the stinker negative, I think.
And we got 2 more Wild Robot movies coming out. We got definitely another Puss in Boots.
I mean, they're making a theme park. They have to be
For what? For Puss in Boots?
Universal's doing like DreamWorks stuff.
Kung Fu Panda 4.
Yeah.
Orion in the Dark.
That was pretty good.
Trolls Band Together.
Horrible.
People love those
Wait.
Trolls movies.
Band Together wasn't that bad. Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken.
I think that did poorly.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Last Wish. Bad Guys.
I think people.
Bad Guys is great. The kids love it.
The Boss Baby sequel.
Never seen that.
Spirit Untamed.
I don't remember that title at all.
The Croods New Age.
The fact that they
Didn't see
made
that.
another Cruise must mean something.
World Tour. Trolls World Tour. Abominable.
Dog Man. They How to Train Your Dragon franchise.
And then we're back to How to Train Your Dragon, Captain Underpants, the first Boss Babies, the first Trolls.
Yep, Megamind.
Megamind was good.
Before we wrap this episode up,
Wait, they did Wallace and Gromit too, because the most recent Wallace and Gromit movie is like phenomenal.
is that the one on
think
Netflix?
I don't
Yeah.
think they have. I don't think they're Wallace and Gromit.
No,
I'm assuming Wallace and Gromit's like a British studio, isn't it?
I forget the name of the studio. It begins with like an A.
maybe did DreamWorks buy him out? I don't know.
I don't think so. What's the studio called? Because they did a short for the
That might be
second season of Star Wars
DreamWorks.
Visions.
Jade in the chat
Hardman
says,
Animations.
what I'm getting is DreamWorks only actually makes bangers. Before we sunset the conversation on The Boy and the Heron and wrap things up, what did you all think of the end of the movie? Like
Very
the
abrupt.
actual end. It is very abrupt, but I think it is on. I personally liked it. I
liked
don't
it. I
know.
think I saw it coming. I'm like, they're ending it right. I kind of thought it was going to end there.
For if someone needs a refresher, essentially it's a still moment between him and the Heron, and I think he asks him, did you bring anything from you, like with you from there? And he pulls out of his pocket the little figurine of Florence Pugh's character, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the stones. Or actually, maybe it doesn't start, the conversation doesn't start with it. I think he asks him, did you forget about that place? And he's like, oh,
Yeah.
no, I didn't. Oh, why? Did you bring something with you from there? And he pulls those things out. And then he's like, oh, it doesn't matter. You're going to forget about that place eventually. And I don't know. I thought it was a good bookend to what I think the central theme of the movie is, like digesting grief and pain and change. And it's like the Heron is asking him, hopeful of like, hey, you forgot about that place, right? And he's like, no, because he's taking it with him. Like he's keeping a piece of that with him. I don't know. I liked it. I was actually surprised that the movie ended that way, because that felt like a bold way to end the movie, in my opinion. And I appreciated the ending to end that way. I don't know if anyone else had thoughts on the ending.
Yeah, not much. I was like literally thinking about the ending where he goes, yeah, it was 2 years, and then they show the family and it just ends. But yeah, that part that you're talking about was I don't know. I didn't give it much thought.
Oh yeah, the movie actually ends with like him going
You gotta
downstairs.
finish packing.
Yeah, that's how the movie actually ends. Yes,
That's how the movie ends. Yeah.
but I think that's just like to further the point of like moving on from the things.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked it. I do have a quick quote from an interview after the movie came out from Miyazaki. Someone asked him to answer the question posed by the Japanese version of the title, which is, how do you live? And his response was, I am making this movie because I do not have the answer. Which I think is like very, I don't know, interesting. And I mean, it's kind of a cool response to that, to be honest. But I think it just kind of, it seems like he made this movie for himself. And that makes me appreciate it a little bit more. Todd, you're muted.
I was saying he definitely made this movie for himself, but does he still rip butts?
I don't fucking know. Why would I know that?
I feel like every interview I've ever seen with him, he's just fucking cranking cigarettes. He's just lighting one with another one after he's finished.
That was the best follow-up question. Yeah, he definitely made this for himself. Also, does he still rip butts?
Todd knows the weirdest things about Miyazaki. Okay. Any other thoughts before we wrap things up?
No. Well, no.
Maybe.
Mike, did you pick a movie?
No.
Come on, Mike. The fans are gonna be pissed now. You fucking now everyone's gonna.
Good.
I'll pick it for him. Fast and the Furious 4.
I thought that was a weaker one, but
don't put this on us. Don't do that. All right. Before we wrap things up, of course, we'll play the movie game because it's a movie episode. But before we do that, thank you all so much for listening to the Pass Control Podcast, episode 460 of the show. Really just putting them out there this year. We appreciate you. If you want to support us, easiest way to do that, freest way to do that, quick 5-star review, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to the show, leave us a quick review. It's super, super helpful. We appreciate you if you do that. If you have bucks kicking around, you want to support us, twitch.tv/passcontroller, subscribe to us there, patreon.com/passcontroller, become a patron, threadless Pass the Controller, buy some stuff. All those things are things you can do. As a reminder, if you're an audio-only listener, we do record the show live every week at twitch.tv/passcontroller, so you can tune in live. If you can't catch us live, no sweat. Just go search Pass the Controller Podcast on YouTube. We put the archive video up there afterwards, so you can watch it. If you can't catch it live, it'll be there for you to watch it at your convenience. If you want to see everything we do, whether it's cocktail recipes, written reviews, other things, everything we do can be found at passthecontroller.io. So head on over to our website and you can get linked out to everything we do, including the podcast. So yeah, there's that. Without further ado, though, let me pull up the scoreboard for, actually, let me pull up my notes for the movie to make sure I didn't miss anything that I wanted to talk about. No, I think I covered all of the things I wanted to talk about. But the scoreboard for the year, if I can find it, stands at Todd in a big boy lead with 11 points in first place. Dom behind him in second with 7 points, and Mike in third right behind Dom with 6 big boy points. Because it's a movie episode, we're going to play the movie game. The way this works, I'm going to just say random facts, things about a movie. Whoever gets the movie first gets the point. We're going to start with movie number 1. Let me pull this up here. Okay. This 2018 PG-13 film clocks in at 2 hours. Let me... Oh, somebody's a sleepy baby.
Yep, I can't keep. I keep on yawning too. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me.
This film has a 91% tomato meter and a 76% popcorn meter.
2 hours. So Brenden hated it.
Mm-hmm. Rotten Tomatoes says you might also like Everybody Loves Somebody, Wild Mountain Time, Overboard, and Home Again.
Does Everybody Love Somebody? That's not the baseball movie, is it?
No idea. Already closed the tab.
Is it
I
Linklater?
don't think it's helpful for me to talk about a different movie in that regard. Anyway, but, you know, there's that. With a budget of $30 million, This film took home a worldwide gross of $239 million dues.
Oh, good for them.
Big one right there.
Let's see. Let me pull up director here. Is director helpful?
2018.
I know. It's like pre-COVID. It's like I can't remember what was big.
Movie
then.
theaters were like
alive
still
still. And, yeah.
18.
You may recognize the director according to IMDb for being known for such things as this film, In the Heights,
I don't know what that is.
Is it
Wicked,
Moana?
incorrect,
yeah.
and G.I.
What-
Joe Retaliation.
What did that?
Wait,
Directed all
did
of
he
those
not
films.
direct that?
I don't know.
Is
but
it
it's
Cra-
not what he's
Crazy-
known for
Cra-
according to
Crazy Rich
IMDb.
Asians?
It is indeed Crazy Rich Asians. How did you pull that, Todd?
Because I know the director of Wicked did that.
Okay.
And I know that movie was super successful, even though I've never seen it.
Did Lin-Manuel not direct In the Heights?
No.
He might have. I think he wrote it, maybe.
What is In the Heights?
He
He
definitely
wrote
wrote it.
Yeah, no, directed by John M. Chu.
What is
Yeah,
In the Heights?
the
Like,
poster for In the Heights
Oh.
says from the creator of Hamilton and the director of Crazy Rich Asians. So the poster says. So there's that. That's movie number 1. Movie number 2. This 2022 rated R film clocks in at 2 hours and 3 minutes.
2022.
Jade in the chat, I missed this, said everybody loves somebody, quotation, parentheses, it's Raymond. That's pretty funny.
That's, I
laugh.
was thinking that while you said that name.
Everybody loves Raymond. Raymond? Hmm?
Huh?
This
Huh?
film has a 38% tomato meter
Oof.
and a 74% popcorn meter.
Ooh.
Hey, people liked it.
Well, not the critics.
Not the critics, but critics aren't people.
Rotten Tomatoes says you may also like Kimmy, The
Kimmy?
Aviary, Eileen.
What fairy? The what fairy?
The Aviary?
Oh,
I've never heard of any of
something
these.
fairy. That's okay.
Eileen, Distorted, and Strictly Confidential.
I feel like Strictly Confidential is the only one I know, and I still don't even know what that is.
So how do you know what that statement didn't make any sense?
I'm like, it sounds familiar. Yeah, like, but
Let me pull up the box office.
rated R.
It is rated R.
Rated R.
Of course, budget's not on this page. Why would it be on this page?
2 hours, 3 years ago.
That was like when I
with
started going back.
Estimated budget of around 20 to 30 million, according to its Wikipedia page. It took home 87 million
Oh, that's not
worldwide.
good. Okay.
Let's see. Maybe we'll go director again. Actually, let me just double check this. No. Okay. You may know the director from such things, according to IMDb, as this movie, The Incredible Burt Wonderstone, Tron Legacy, and Cowboys and Aliens. I will clarify, they directed the movie we're talking about. That doesn't necessarily mean the other movies I named that they directed them.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
As I feel like that got confusing immediately when I said all those movies. So
I don't remember who directed Tron Legacy.
I feel like I used to know that.
Goated movie.
I'll just give you the hint. Knowing the director of those other movies is not directly helpful to any of this because it's not the same person.
Okay.
I never
But they
saw
were
Burt.
so the director of the
of the movie you need
Film
to
we're
guess
talking-
was in those other movies, and that's what they're known
Okay.
for according to
Okay.
IMDb.
Rated R movie. I feel like this would be right up my alley.
I don't know. This is a sideways clue because it's not real information. I don't know. I feel like none of you have seen this movie. You definitely know this movie, but I feel like none of you have watched it.
Okay.
Maybe.
Oh, The Beekeeper.
Incorrect. Let's see. I haven't seen it, so I don't know like how far down I go here, how minimal some of these roles are, but we're going to start at this one because they're not a top billed person. You may recognize this person that's in this movie from such things as Sausage Party, Captain Underpants, The First Epic Movie, Adult Beginners, and Big Mouth.
Well, that could be anybody.
Right.
They were
I forget who's the
also
voice in Captain Underpants.
they were also in more recently Red One, and they were in one episode of The Franchise.
I didn't watch the franchise.
They were in Sing.
What are you saying? The actor was
Thriller.
in Red One? One of the actors? Like bottom build?
Build. I don't know where their role is in this film. They were in one episode of Mr. Throwback. They were in one episode of John Mulaney Presents Everybody is in L.A.
I assume I know who the person is, but
Here, I'll give a more direct clue.
I don't.
I don't really know how it's gonna help.
Yeah, I don't know if it's helpful to know this person is in this
person.
thing. I have no idea. Why can't I find this on the thing? Is that old?
Oh.
Is it an American Pickle?
No, incorrect.
Oh, it's a good guess. I think I might
They're-
know the name. I think I might know the movie,
They're in one episode of New Girl. I don't remember them in that show.
but I don't remember the name of the movie. But like, I'm pretty sure I have an idea.
How old
Maybe
is this other show?
2022 is not that long ago, so maybe it's not that movie.
I must have scrolled past it.
Oh, is it called The House?
Incorrect.
Oh, the one with Will Ferrell and
And Amy Poehler and
Well, I don't think any of those people are in this movie. I don't know what.
Okay.
I don't know who you think I'm talking about. I'm trying to find this other show.
I was
that
thinking
will-
Jason Muzakis or whatever.
Mantzoukas?
Like, yeah.
Jason Mantzoukas.
I mean, you're not far off. What fucking year did The League come out? You might know this person from The League. When did that come
I've
out?
never seen The League.
Oh, then it's not the person that I'm thinking of.
The League came out like 2009-ish, maybe 2008.
No, before that.
It's not listed on their IMDb.
No, I guess 2007, 2008.
They're a main character of that show, but it's not listed on IMDb. I don't know where the fuck it's listed. It's not here. I'll just say it's Nick Kroll because again, I don't even know how helpful it is to know he's in the movie. But
I mean,
He's always a small part in so many movies.
Oh, is it? Fuck, now I can't remember what the other one was called. So if I say this, then
Yeah, give it to me. Come on, let's go.
is it Babylon?
incorrect.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know if that was the movie that I was thinking of.
All right, we're gonna bump it up a little further.
yeah.
Babylon Falls.
I believe this person is a much
Higher build.
more impactful, or I don't know why I said it that way. According to IMDb, they're the third build. You may recognize this person from such things as, according to IMDb, and this is going to be extremely. Be ready, get your buzzers ready. You may recognize them from such things as Wonder Woman.
Oh, Dungeons and Dragons?
Incorrect.
Damn it.
What was?
Oh wait, that's not rated
R.
R. It's rated R. I'm an idiot.
What'd you say, Dom?
Wonder Win?
Wonder Woman.
Oh, Wonder Woman.
Taco Man? What's happening?
Yeah, that's I can't. I'm not getting words right now, and I think it's still the movie that I'm thinking of. I just don't remember what the other one was fucking called.
Star
There were
Trek
two
Into
movies.
Darkness?
Is
Star
it
Trek
Stuber?
Beyond? Incorrect. Star Trek.
Okay.
Oh, then never mind.
Do
What did
I
you say it was, Mike?
I said Stuber, but
Oh no, that's
Do-
that's not
I-
what
Do I
said.
do I need to go further with this actor? Todd definitely
I
knows
know
who it is.
I know
Oh,
I know who the actor is.
yeah.
I just trying to think of.
Wait, what was the movie you just said? Because I'm already blanking.
Todd, you know who it is because you said
You
Dungeons
know
and
who it is,
Dragons.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's,
gotcha. Okay.
it's Pine. Don't worry, we're all on the same
Okay,
page.
there you go. It's
Oh,
Chris Pine.
is it Pool Boy?
Incorrect. I guess we'll just keep going up. We're gonna go to number 2. I feel pretty confident.
Is it Sonic the Hedgehog?
Incorrect. I feel pretty
Is it
confident.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2?
Incorrect. I feel pretty
Not
confident.
a rated R film.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I
about
wish they were
it.
rated out.
I
That's a
feel
me
pretty
move.
confident
That's
that you all know this movie.
I believe it.
When I start talking about the second build actor, I think it should make it very clear
I definitely
what
have
the
the right
movie
actor.
is. You may know the second build actor from such things as this movie, Love, Simon, My Policeman, and Dunkirk.
Oh, I do know.
Don't
what
worry,
movie it is.
darling.
It is indeed Don't Worry, Darling.
I forgot Chris Pine. was that.
Me too.
Isn't this the movie where like the two of them clearly don't like each other and he like spit on him or something? Isn't that like this movie, right?
It's Olivia Wilde. She directed it.
Olivia
It's Florence
Wilde.
Pugh.
No, I know, but I'm saying wasn't there like a issue between Chris Pine and Harry Styles, and didn't he like spit on him at the movie premiere or something?
No, I think that was like.
Somebody.
I know that
But I
like
don't think-
I know that like there was that whole thing with like she started dating what's his name
Harry
during the
Styles.
making of that movie, Harry Styles during the making of that movie, and it was like a whole ordeal and cheating on Ted Lasso and shit, or if she, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure someone got spit on.
Someone did get spit on. I just
Okay.
don't remember who.
I think it was
I
like
think it was
taken
the
out
two
of
of them.
context.
I think it was. I don't know how you take getting literally spitting on someone at a movie premiere is out of context, but sure. Okay.
Give me the
Let's
sweep.
see.
Let's go.
But yes. Let's go with. I mean, we're just gonna stick on the path I've been on, and we're gonna go with this thing. So we'll just do this. Because I don't think.
What's the through line here? Have we figured it out? Is there a through line?
I mean, there is a through
20.
line.
Give me 2018, baby, or 2019.
Wow, it's 2019.
Because I
Tom
know
Hardy is-
I know one person that's in both of the films that he's already mentioned.
Oh, wait, what was the first one?
What was the first movie? I already
All right.
forget what it
Well,
was.
this is. I
Crazy
think.
Rich,
I think this is a.
What was the first one?
Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh, yes. Yeah, okay. I see. I wouldn't know what the through line is for that.
I mean, it's the through line stemming off of the movie that we watched.
Yeah, but there's a lot of actors in that movie.
Anyways, I picked this one because I think personally it is Devil Horns. Maybe it's not. We'll find out. This 2021 PG film clocked in at 1 hour and 47 minutes.
Oh no, 2021. It could be. Is it? All right, keep going.
Todd, you're gonna let him steal the sweep from you right now?
I think I know.
Is it Raya
Right.
the Last Dragon?
It is indeed Raya the Last Dragon.
Oh, I was gonna say Wish. I don't know when Wish was though.
The through line was Gemma Chan. It just also happened to be that like other actors that were in Boy and the Heron were also in multiple of these movies.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Wow, that was quick. That was real quick. What were you hoping I was gonna pick, Dom?
I was waiting for Eternals.
So I was gonna start with Eternals, but I figured it would have been too easy, and that also would have lined up with Don't Worry, Darling too, because of Harry Styles. Anyways, so that'll end the week. Todd scooping up 2 more points, putting him at 13. Dom scooping 1 up, putting him at 8, and Mike staying in 3rd with 6 points. That'll do it for this week's episode 460. We appreciate you, and we will see you next time.